It's a serious situation, but let's deal with the issues as we have it. First of all, I want us to answer a few questions. Is it true that Galamsey started during the Akufo-Addo era?
Did anyone say that?
Yes, the president responded. He said, you see, the level of damage that we've seen in the last 8 years, and this is a spin that the NDC and the president have been putting to the Galamsey issue since their days in opposition. To the extent that, think about this, an 18-year-old person in 2024 who was going to cast his vote actually believed that Galamsey started during the Akufo-Addo era. Because at the time, Galamsey truly started.
Even when we're children.
No, but at the time,
call something Galamsey.
At the time Galamsey truly started, this 18-year-old was probably 10 years or...
No, even before he was born. Galamsey has been going on for 30 years.
But go and talk to the 22-year-olds.
They believe Akufo-Addo brought it.
Because there was a spin. And that is why in the president's response, he still created the impression as if it's an 8-year problem. So is it the case? Okay. Number two.
Show us how it's
Number two, you see, you mentioned Galamsey has been an age-long thing. We've always lived with it. It's always been a, they go to the gold fields, they pick their ways.
Part of that.
And then they try to mine from it and all of that. But the type of Galamsey we are seeing today started between 2010 and 2011. The kind of Galamsey on the river bodies and the forests and the reserves started in 2010, 2011. That is when it went haywire. So we used to have Galamsey even from the colonial era.
Yes.
You remember the Sikasunsum movie?
Yes.
So it's an age-long thing. But you see, they did not go into the river bodies. They were not in the forest reserves. They were doing earth. So remember when we were kids, you will hear some people have died from Galamsey. And they dig pits and enter the pit and all of that. But the kind of Galamsey we are seeing today, the ones on the river bodies, started between 2010 and 2011. And this is a video.
When President Mahama was president.
Yes, there's a video.
Let's watch the video.
Let's see the video.
Of Galamsey, rather seriously. Let's see how we can solve that problem. Because this is a clear indication of some of the effects, of Galamsey.
Far from being tackled, Galamsey is now so widespread. Miners are moving onto the river itself. Strange new boats are appearing that can suck up silt from the riverbed, sidestepping the need to dig pits along the river banks. But the constant churning has turned once pristine waters murky brown. The shorelines are scarred, cocoa plantations crushed by the heavy machinery that is dragged across them. This is a kind of destruction that we see in
let me take you on
a video.
Yes, let me take you on a journey. And I really want you to pay very close attention to this. A lot of us, a lot of young people have lived in the past 8 years believing and thinking that before Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, we didn't have Galamsey in this manner. And the president actually repeated it in his engagement. That, in the last 8 years...
But he was vice president when this happened.
You heard Anas in this video actually describe how bad our water bodies had become as far back as 2010, 2011. And the video you watched was at a time when the president now was a vice president. And go and read all the headlines between 2010 and 2016. The headlines then are no different from the headlines between 2017 and 2024. Indeed, there is an improvement, and I'll show you. So this is a 2010 headline. 10 Galamsey operators buried alive, 9th April 2010. 18th March 2010, stop Galamsey now. 17th July 2010, another Galamsey tragedy, 12 trapped to death. Floods, males angered by harmful effects of Galamsey, 25th July 2011. All these headlines, I'm sure if I cover the dates, you may think they are 2017, 2018, 2019.
300 people died of
Galamsey in 2011. But if I cover these dates and I cover this, you may think this is a 2017, 2020 headline. But this is evidence to show you that the Galamsey situation that John Mahama, His Excellency, and his party spanned for 8 years as an Akufo-Addo creation is something that we can easily, with evidence, indicate that they created it. And that is not without debate. It is without
argument. They created it is
when I say they created,
I
am simply saying if they say that Akufo-Addo created Galamsey
because it was happening in his time, then with the same token.
In fact, they cannot even bring it towards Akufo-Addo. Because you see, it was as a result of this situation that even Ofosu Ampofo in 2011 was crying over how the courts were not helping the fight against Galamsey. This is a report in 2010, 2011. And it says that area of Galamsey has more than tripled from 2011 to 2015, from 10,907 hectares to 36,696 hectares. 2011
that's
to
very
2015.
curious for President Mahama because he was president from 13 to 15.
Exactly. Galamsey is affecting major rivers. In 2013, an estimated area of 551,496 hectares was affected by Galamsey pollution. In 2015 alone, Galamsey encroached into at least 603 hectares of protected forest reserves. I am making a case, and I'll show you something. So this is again a story from 2010. Then Professor Mills spoke, the video we've just played. Now, in 2013, when John Mahama, His Excellency, took office, because he was vice president at the time when the new form of Galamsey we are seeing today had popped up, he had to take action. So he set up a task force. The task force responsibility was to clear everybody engaged in illegal mining and make sure that they clear the forest reserves.
Now let's read it. President Mahama says what? President Mahama sets up interministerial task force with a mandate to arrest and prosecute both local and foreign illegal miners and to adopt and to deport foreigners. Excavators were burnt,
yes,
and foreigners were
deported.
Excavators were burnt in John Mahama time.
In 2013,
was not the first
no.
person
John Mahama is the one who started burning excavators in this country.
But you are right again. If we cover this,
you would think it's a 20.
If I put 2025 there, it's fine. It
exactly.
Works.
You understand? And this is
but
what
this is a revelation even to me as a
and this is what
reporter.
they did to us.
The burning of excavators.
This is what they did to us. So you see, they led the entire country to think that Akufo-Addo, and I'll tell you the contradictions, and the reason why I think John Mahama is the biggest enabler of Galamsey. Now, follow this. After he set up the committee, led by Yunus Hussein, who was then Lands and Natural Resources Minister, Mahama Yariga, now Majority Leader, was the Environment Minister. Mahama Yariga said that they should give up. I mean, these are all headlines from 2013, 2014. But Mahama Yariga now comes back and says that they should give up on the fight against illegal mining.
Minister
gives up on fighting illegal mining once new approach. This is what he said. He said, this is Mahama Yariga. I called Minerals Commission. I called EPA. I called all the stakeholders and I said, look, it looks as if we cannot stop them from mining. So why don't we help them to mine properly so that we avoid the pollution, he said. Now, if you go and read all the reports and actions taken by the task force, which was headed by Yunus Hussein, you'd realize that the actions were exactly what is being done now. Go to the forest area, find Galamseyers, arrest them, burn the excavators, take the foreigners, take them to the airport, get them to their countries, they come back again. The same modus, the same strategy, the same approach. So Mahama failed at the fight against Galamsey between 2013 and 2016. And if you remember, in the last quarter...
That's your clear verdict?
Yeah, no, but that's exactly what happened. Not me.
The minister gave up?
Yeah, it's not me. Okay. The minister gave up.
Okay.
The minister
but
gave
that's
up.
interesting because that's 15 September 2016. Yes. That's towards the end.
Yes.
3 months more. He says we are done.
He said we are done. We can't do it. And this is after they had burnt excavators. This is after they had arrested people. This is after they had done all manner of things. Then, in 2016, in the last quarter of the elections, Galamsey became an issue. Akufo-Addo never accused John Mahama of being complicit in Galamsey.
He never did.
In 2016.
In the campaign.
No MPP person is on record between 2010 and 2016 accusing any NDC person or the president for that matter for being involved in Galamsey during the campaign. This is what Akufo-Addo and the MPP did. He promised to facilitate the introduction of safe and profitable mining through community mining scheme. This is what he did. He gave a clear-cut direction towards dealing with the matter, rather than play propaganda and try to put blame on the president, which obviously you knew doesn't make sense. Because, I mean, which president would look for money to the extent of going into the forest to try to dig the ground and bring, out gold for themselves? Akufo-Addo comes to office, and what he did was, the first quarter, I think April 2017, and this is like 3 months after being sworn in, right?
Yeah.
April 2017, Akufo-Addo places a ban on all form of small-scale mining in the country.
Oh, he did?
Absolute ban. So when you hear John Mahama, His Excellency, and the NDC say, we are just 8 months old, and I'm sure you've heard that. Why are you putting pressure on an 8-month-old government to fight Galamsey when MPP destroyed it in 8 years? That's a complete lie. And I was shocked to hear the president give a response on national TV and create the impression that, we are only 8 months old, and the damage that was caused in 8 years, the damage started being caused from his time when he was vice president. Please, this is the point I think you need to take note. The damage was caused from 2010 2011. And so if he wants to look at when the damage started, he was vice president. Then he became president. Each of these occasions, he failed to deal with the matter. Galamsey rather became an inheritance of Akufo-Addo, an albatross around his neck. He rather sought to get strategies to deal with a canker that was introduced by John Mahama, His Excellency, and the NDC government. So in 2017, around April, Akufo-Addo sat down with all stakeholders. And in fact, let me also make this point. It was Akufo-Addo who allowed CSOs and the media to follow military men and policemen into the Galamsey fight. So you see media men in helicopters, holding their camera. It was
Metro TV were part of it.
Akufo-Addo's undoing was allowing everybody to see what was going on real time. That was when now people began to really see the real damage of Galamsey. And then when people now became very enlightened, it rather became his problem. But he didn't.